live from Taiwan. Well, it's not live anymore, but we are live right now. I'm Ron from Elevate.
And I'm Robert from Elevate. US Carlos. Everybody calls me Carlos, so.
And I would say, what's up? But that's probably dating myself, so I'm not going to.
Hey guys, I'm Adit from Elevate and here with the HTC Elevate crew in Taipei, and we're here for a factory tour and a HQ visit and the launch of the latest smartphone, which you probably know now. It's the HTC U11.
I'm Ian from the San Francisco Bay Area. Been part of Elevate for a while now.
Hey, how's it going, guys? It's me, Shimon, and
Darren, HTC Bro.
So my name is Vito. I'm from New York. I've been with Elevate since day one. I'm super excited to be here in Taiwan for the launch of the new HTC U11. I'm with my whole crew here. This is a great experience, and it was very interesting to see what takes place and what goes into actually making a device, because every day you get a device, or whenever you have an HTC phone, you see the final product and you don't get to see what goes into it.
Yeah, I think as an engineer, I really appreciate kind of going to the factory and kind of seeing the different steps in terms of like quality, but also just like the attention to detail that they have. I mean, they explain it in the design language of how much detail they do, and it's all gets translated down into even how the phone is made. So I really
as an end consumer, you don't really think about the steps that go into making a great smartphone, but I mean, it's really complex and intriguing to say the least.
Yeah, definitely. Like I said before, everybody sees the final product, so now that you have the phone, you get to appreciate what actually happened and what took place to make this phone get to this final phone in your hand that you use every day in your everyday life.
But today we were lucky enough to go tour the HTC headquarters, design studio, and check out some pretty cool stuff. You want to start?
I don't know much to say, ever. But anyway, no, actually it was a lot of fun. We were able to see several different places around Taiwan. We got to tour the city and see where HTC does lots of various different testing and research, and even the factory where they actually build the devices, and it was really an honor. I think, and I shared this a little on Twitter as well, that I really hope that we've been able to kind of capture it and bring it along for the rest of Elevate, so that you kind of feel like you're here as well, getting the same experience of seeing the city, seeing the culture, seeing the proud company that HTC is.
Starting out the day just jaunting off to headquarters, it was one of those adventures you can't really put into words, because you get there and it's a family culture that's built there, and it's a culture built on excellence. Innovation and excellence are probably the two words I will take away from this. They care about what they make, and they care about the user that's using it. And that, I think, is where the whole U line, whether you want to call the U Ultra or the U Play or even the new U11, it's the next stage in growth for them. And as much as we're going to miss metal bodies and this and that, when you see the craftsmanship that went into the glass, the construction itself, you can't question the reasons why they are doing it. It's just stunning to see that type of I'm trying to think of the right word, that type of commitment to something as simple as the back of a phone.
so starting out from the beginning, we went to the assembly line, we saw how U11 is produced, and it was really fascinating how you think that it's easy, it's like Lego pieces, you keep one on top of other, and it just becomes a phone, but no, it's an intricate process, and it's just really, really fascinating.
Yeah, it was interesting to see the different sections of the factory and how they sort of segregate it into lines, and each line does the same thing at the same time. We asked about the machinery they use as well, and it's completely custom made by HTC for specific purposes, even down to the screens that stop you from reaching in and grabbing stuff. It's just like so awesome.
Yeah. So it is surreal to see how normal people were really packing our phones into the boxes, where when you open the box, you don't realize how much effort is being put into the phone boxes, right?
Yeah, back to what you said about some real person putting stuff in the box. A real person is at every stage of the phone's development.
There's a human touch in there.
And development meaning from parts to product. So literally there's some person touching the device all the time, putting each individual little wire in there, and it was really cool to see when we were right behind them. We could see exactly what they were doing, look at their check sheets and things, and it was for me that put a completely different perspective. You just assume that it comes in a box, you open it, great, a machine did it, but there's hundreds of people
There's a human
involved.
touch in it.
Yeah. So from start to finish, there's somebody at every checkpoint, and they check the devices more and more and more until they get batches of just perfect things to ship, and I think that's super
That's
cool.
quietly brilliant.
Quietly brilliant. Oh,
I know. So we also got to go to the design studio as well, and kind of see the different iterations of past HTC phones, and I think that was really interesting to me because each iteration, it's maybe like
It's better.
like maybe the camera is a circle or a camera is
Square.
A square. Yeah, it's just something very simple that you don't really think about.
Yeah,
And there has been iteration, and there has been even long discussions about that, and so it's really interesting to see how
and
the
there
process.
are a lot of phones that really don't see the light of day, which
Right.
they probably should have, and
It was
Yeah.
really nice seeing the concepts of all the different designs before this actual device came out. So you got to see how maybe they thought one version was going to have the fingerprint scanner on the back, then obviously it ended up on the front. But it's nice to see how they came up with different ideas. It wasn't just okay, we're going to have this phone, design it, boom, done. So there was different models and different versions that came out. So you got to see with a bunch of people sitting around saying, well, we don't want this because maybe it doesn't work for this design language, or maybe we want it on the front because it's going to do this or something. So it's nice to see all the different steps and everything, and all the different ideas they were toying with to make the phone.
I mean, it could be as something big as the placement of the fingerprint scanner, but I mean, some of them were just really subtle, like how the speaker grills are just designed.
Yeah.
What's their profile, or even just like the edges, how round are they? I thought that was really kind of neat to see. And it was a little bit harder to tell between the different iterations just from looking at it.
Yeah, I know, because they all look so similar.
Right,
I mean, you have
yeah.
to really look and be like, oh wait, this is different because this small detail, or that.
Right,
the camera.
right.
Say for instance, the camera on the Ultra, it's square, but on the new one, it's round, a little bit nicer.
And it's funny because it does, these small changes does kind of evoke different emotions,
Sure.
different, opinions and stuff like that. And so it is very, even though it's very subtle, that thought of how it's going to be received. It was really interesting that they took that.
Yeah, it was great, hearing from some of the employees and just kind of the passion they have for what they do. You really believe that they're very proud of their work, and that there's been just tons of thought and development. It's not just as simple as saying, hey, let's go with this looks pretty. I mean, they really have gone through the process in choosing colors and why they chose them, and the descriptions they give. They really give you a deep understanding of all the thought, all the energy that goes into that.
Yeah, and I think that's a perfect transition now to what did we see today. The bad news is we can't tell you a whole lot about what we saw because, well, it's kind of like name badge scanners and crazy security to get into most of the places that we went into. Probably the coolest section was the design studio. We got to see past and present HTC models as well as some of the future products. Just seeing the history of phones laid out in one giant picture there. And they were actually physical devices. It wasn't just a picture, but just seeing that whole layout of devices was really impressive. I would say probably everything they've done in the last 5 years was sitting on an open table. It was just to see from point A to point B where they've gone and how they got there was pretty stunning. And then as we moved into tomorrow's devices, which are actually yesterday's devices, if we do this right, the U11, seeing the additional work that has gone into perfecting that phone, it was just awe-inspiring. Just seeing how they were able to bend a straight piece of glass, how they're able to craft it into a metal bezel that has a perfectly, sculpted glass front. It's quite intriguing to see how they do that. And then on top of that, to cram all of the camera components, the battery, the USB-C audio, all of these pieces into the phones and still make them work, to have the best audio quality, to have the best reception quality. Just to nail that stuff down like that in such a small package is pretty impressive.
So we went to the design lab.
Yeah, design labs were cool.
It is so amazing. You
Very chilled out.
very chilled out. I would love to work at such place.
Oh,
Anybody. would.
intense. Wink.
Wink.
Yeah,
Wink, wink.
that is true. It looks like a really, just relaxed atmosphere. Everyone knows what they're doing. Sounds as though they know what they're
And the
doing.
products those are there, amazing.
Yeah.
The colors which are not released and the products which are there, amazing. Those intricate colors and such diversity of colors. That was
Yeah, colors that you would love to see in store or via your carrier or your network or whatever. You wish it's just
existed. Just
We've all seen yellows. I love copper, reds, different
reds.
different blues. I mean,
Ironic how I'm wearing
it's
blue.
like, why don't you make these things? I mean, and it's all down to desirability, I guess. But
And it's really nice how they explain that they take inspiration from everything objects. Like every day,
Yeah.
they take inspiration from the office itself. They take everything.
the
inspiration from
sunrise, the sunset,
everything.
the night sky.
Talking about which, the two new colors, solar red and amazing silver.
Yeah, two really cool colors.
Dibs on the red one.
Yeah, the red actually looks almost copper. I was standing right at the end of the
Then it looks totally
the thing.
yellowish.
Yeah, so it goes from red, yellow, copper, and it's
So it's
really
similar
cool.
to the effect which Pixel has on the silver variant. If you check its glass, it looks yellow at a certain angle. It's called dichroism. You can Google it out. So, anyways, so dibs on the red one. It's really amazing.
Red's cool, and the other one was the
Amazing silver.
amazing silver.
It has a little bit of bluish tint.
Yeah, from where I was standing, it just looked blue.
Blue.
But
when you-
I was
you
standing
can
like at a funny angle, so but yeah, silver blue.
Yeah. And okay, we can't talk about. Yeah.
I don't think we can talk about.
That into
And we also have a dedicated camera studio just for testing out the various functions of the camera and the audio as well, which is pretty cool. They had an echo room and stuff like that.
yeah.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's like it's family. It's basically what it is. It's we've been able to meet a bunch of people and become friends, and everybody's in different parts of the world. I mean, you're in India, you're from San Francisco, I'm from New York. On a normal day, like this wouldn't happen. So I feel like Elevate is more than just the HTC phones. It's it's HTC and us as a family, and it's I think it's awesome. Like I love it, and I hope Elevate is here for forever.
It's interesting also that we're talking about how diverse the Elevate community is and the fan base is. They really do actually incorporate that diversity within the design process. I think they talked about how there's like the San Francisco studio, the studio here in the headquarters, and then there's Seattle, and how they all like to bring in that different perspective. And so I think that really translates. It is a global brand. Yeah, and there's different perspectives everywhere, and that feedback from everywhere is incorporated within what products are being released.
Yes, yeah, it definitely was. As we were looking at all the colors laid out on the table there, it kind of reminded me of staring at a periodic table, if you will, or just this wide variety of all these different ideas, thoughts, theories. Some came to market, some didn't, and I'm sure we've seen some of them in the videos that they let us see from the design studio. We've seen certain colors that we all wish would have been released and maybe didn't, and it was really cool to see them in person, actually just have that all laid out there.
I think the U11 will definitely be a device that will find a home in a lot of users' pockets. It definitely checks a lot of the boxes that people are looking for with that ultra-sharp camera, great battery life, very, very good size display, not a lot of, hey, let's throw it out there, not a lot of that wasted space, right? Yeah. It's one of those things where, I think that device is definitely going to fill a lot of people's pockets.
Yeah. So then we went to
The research lab.
research labs, audio and the camera labs.
So when you use camera and audio on your device, you take it for granted, like, hey, it just works. But the effort that's put behind that technology is amazing.
Yeah.
It's really really deep. Like even when taking a picture, they test the exposure levels
Yeah.
and everything.
Yeah, the guys doing it are like real scientists. You can just tell by the way they talk and the way they are. They're so
formal.
into so they're so into what they're doing, and that at the same time as being all about the end user and how they're going to feel when they're holding it in their hand or they're taking a photo or when they're listening to their favorite music. So for me that's what I found cool. I'm really into the sound part of it, and the guy looked so enthusiastic when he was talking about the development of the
those are the
speakers.
intricate details. Like even for a speaker, they had a separate acoustic chamber to test it out, and
Yes, it's a cool experience.
yeah, it's a really cool experience that we got the opportunity to come here.
Yeah,
Yeah, and we would like to.
it's
extend-
super,
Yeah, we-
super awesome.
Yeah, and we'd like to thank everyone
And I
for
hope-
the opportunity, and we hope that this video allows you guys to experience or at least have a little bit of details
same.
how
Just
the
about to say.
experience was, and yeah, have a nice day.
Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for joining us.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Signing off.
Signing